UK versus France in an epic final battle for, I suppose, the deciding of second, third, and
So
fourth.
this is either going to be a clean... This is going to either give us a clean finals, or it's going to or chaos is going to ensue, is what we're trying to find out.
Yeah, and the UK has won the coin flip and is going first, so...
And see, they're even playing the Snake Eye deck when it's not even like... They're guaranteed first place in the round robin stage. Just bring your comfort branded deck. Why not?
Because you want Germany to win.
Or that.
That's why you want them to lose with branded.
Or maybe maybe you just want to preserve that perfect 100% victory with branded.
Yeah, no, that's
Because you can
fair.
just go out of this, you just keep playing Snake Eye for the rest of the event, and you can just say,
No
hey,
matter
I
what
went
happens, we won with branded.
undefeated with branded.
I'm curious to know if they will decide the coin flip in the finals. That's an interesting thing we'll clarify later. But yeah, you know, game 2 and 3, do you get to decide?
They do get to pick, from what I heard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, that's set in stone then. But yeah, obviously UK want to flex this. I'm just curious if, like, at this stage of the tournament, like, if they're guaranteed in the finals, they could just play branded because maybe they don't want to give more information about their deck list away.
True,
right?
yeah, because their deck list was among the more, like, spicy ones, right? They got that Phantasme in there. Who knows what else they're hiding? You know, they don't want to show a potential. But I guess they're thinking that's not worth it here. They're like, there's nothing here that we could...
Yeah.
Show off that would be valuable information for our opponents. I mean, we've already seen the Phantasme, we've seen the Nibiru's. What more can there really be?
Smaller tournaments, like on like, for example, like the World Championship, Invitational. You know, not to say that they're equal in terms of their prestige, but
they're the same.
They're interesting because, like, it's not just your deck building and your, well, to an extent your deck building, but in a different sense, because now it's like a case of, like, you can keep an eye on, like, who
The
your competition
information
is.
game is very, very different. Oh, Snake Eye
Birch.
That's,
there we go. We haven't
and
seen
that's
that.
the first piece of information that they've revealed that they potentially didn't need to reveal.
Yeah.
Because they had a guaranteed first place after round robin, and now they've shown everyone, hey, we play Snake Eye Birch, which could at some point could matter.
Was their opening play Poplar?
Poplar,
Right,
yes,
okay.
just
so this,
Poplar.
So this won't be the full combo, right? Regardless, even with the Birch extender?
This is... No.
Okay. Because if you do play Birch and you open well enough, you can end on IP Savage formula. With the Princess, of course, and all the regular
But that's not the
setup.
Poplar, because I don't
yeah.
think we're going to see the Jet Synchron here specifically, because they've already used the original Sinful Spoils.
Yeah.
Which, unless they drew specifically 1-for-1, is the only way they would ever get to the Jet Synchron.
But that's the thing, though. Because they play the Birch, it does offer them the wave
I mean,
extension.
the Birch, actually not. Actually, it doesn't offer you anything that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, because if you start with Poplar in this situation, they haven't used Poplar to summon from hand. So what they could have done instead of searching the Birch is they could have just searched Poplar. And that
does the same thing,
It would
essentially.
also just be a level 1 fire on the field right now. Like, it technically is the same thing, which is why the Snake Eye Birch is not a card that's in every list. It's a decent card still, you know, it's fine to play it, but a lot of people have opted out of using it because a lot of the times when you can search Birch, you can just search Poplar and it does the same thing.
I like it personally. It's just a nice extra name to keep in rotation. Hard drawing it is, like, also fine as well.
I mean,
and it's like a different name to search if you've already got, like, the Poplar
It's
special
more relevant
trigger.
in the TCG where you have Bonfire and can turn that into an extender if you've already used your
That's
Poplar,
true, yeah.
right? In Master Duel, it's not that common that you want it. It's just a shame that it's got this cool effect where
on the opponent's
it's got
turn.
the same tag out effect as the other Snake Eyes, but it's on the opponent's turn. Unfortunately, there isn't really a cool thing you can do with that. Like, if there was maybe a Snake Eye that you could turn into some sort of disruption on the opponent's turn, maybe I could see using the Birch for that.
Yeah, well, it's a cool effect that I think has niche uses, more so in TCG than Master Duel, but we're going through the similar lines regardless here, because we've got the Flamberge scaling the Masquerena, and now we get to make the Ambleaway with the Birch and the Princess, and that's going to give us our standard setup here. But France, not disrupting anything, not using any hand traps, so I don't know.
This is the, I would say, best case scenario for France, because well, the best case was if they just weren't able to perform any combos, but, like, if you already don't have any disruption for your opponent, I mean, they only started Poplar, nothing else. Like, that was, it's the most tame combo they could have gone for, essentially. So obviously that means they probably have some strong non-engine pieces in their hand, like, you know, the set
That's
card.
the issue.
Likely to be something like an Impermanence or a Cult by the Grave. There could be some cards in the hand that they can use. We'll see how it goes, but in terms of the raw, like, field that they've put up, it's the more tame version of it.
Draw phase wanted. We talked a little bit about this earlier today with its revealing of information if you already have a play, but
Yes.
if it's your first and only play, I guess it's fine to just fire off in the draw phase.
Yeah,
but then
if it's your only play and you're going to have to use it first anyways, then you might as well do it in the draw phase. I would think that means they don't have Snake Eye Ash already, because otherwise it'd be better to commit to that first and don't show your opponent, I have this extension in the form of Diabellstar / Wanted in my hand.
Yeah, exactly. So 6 cards in hand here, and again, it's a case of what type of defensive cards do we have here? Do we have something like a Talent? Do we have potentially a Called By?
It was
Double
wanted, yeah, and we're starting with the Diabellstar line.
Double Wanted, not ideal. Going a little bit minus on the discard here, but it should be somewhat okay.
This Diabellstar is like specifically crucial for them to resolve because the Wanted, if you start with Wanted, you really want the Diabellstar to resolve to make sure you can get that extra draw, which can really help you push into your opponent's field going second. If this Diabellstar gets negated, it doesn't only mean that you don't get your Sinful Spoil card, you also don't have another card that you can put back into the deck with Wanted to draw an extra card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very important Black Witch resolution right now, is what you're saying. It's really important.
And that's why
we
see the response window for Team UK. They're still thinking about it.
Yeah, probably just trying to go back and forth of like thinking, you know, if we do stop this and they have a way to extend, that's bad for us. But if they did have an extender, that would have probably just been their starter, right? Like,
yeah.
it's
they can't possibly be thinking on Promethean Princess, right? Because they would do the same thing that the Netherlands / Spain did earlier of locking themselves out of their own Masquerena interruptions.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be that they thought about using something like an Impermanence, but are opting not to.
Yeah, and also holding on to that Flamberge special summon effect yet, because no need to use monster effects just now, unless something comes down on this Bellstar. But yeah, thinking about this one a little bit, as we can maybe try and also get some audio from the table here. Have a little listen into Team UK and see what exactly is going on their side of the field. Or their side of the arena, I guess. That's a long Bellstar resolution, by the way. And I think we're actually back to Team France's priority. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's their turn, yeah.
I just meant in terms of the priority there.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the glow now, by the way. I just realized.
I realized that too, yeah. So the
Okay.
Diabellstar did resolve.
All right, that wasn't on before. But resolution here, we do have UK, who is thinking of using a quick effect right now.
I think they're thinking about using their Flamberge to IP Masquerena now. You can do something like Nightmare Unicorn, get rid of that set card, and it's a normal summon of Poplar. Using the effect. That's interesting. That's gonna... I mean, that's most likely the Temple. However, we did see them use the Subversion.
Yeah, UK's definitely on Subversion. We've seen that from them earlier.
Searching Subversion here would probably...
Ooh, Imperm.
For that, okay.
I guess that's why they thought so long, was is it worth using Imperm on Diabellstar?
It's a good Imperm, however, for the reasons that I stated earlier, I still think that was maybe more impactful on the Diabellstar because you don't only stop that Snake Eye spell from being picked up, you also stop the Wanted to draw a card later. Although in hindsight, obviously the Poplar could have searched original Sinful Spoils either way.
This doesn't feel incredible because I feel like, I mean, I would probably want to go like Karibo, Scale, Sinful Spoil, Send, and then maybe try go for like potentially an early Savage if we have anything else.
I wouldn't underestimate the Hita possibilities. Going second, the Hita is always so massive.
Yeah, Hita taking your opponent's Ash is really good.
Because if you turn this Poplar into a Link Karibo right now, you actually don't have a Fire anymore.
Ooh, interesting.
We haven't seen that yet. You know what I like them to add here? If they play it, the one of DD Crow. If they have that, that'd be huge here to deal with the Princess in the graveyard.
Yeah, forcing that out immediately means that we don't even get to trigger anything off of it, and we can just continue with Sinful Spoils afterwards. And where Arthur?
It's a little awkward that your normal summon was specifically Poplar, because that's normally what you want to search with Where Arthur. It's like your budget bonfire. Oh!
Does that really help here, though?
Not yet, but it could still help. It's a little bit awkward here that you have to do it. You can only use Bra Arfta while you have a level 1 monster, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the issue. So you have to commit to your normal.
Yeah.
We've got some audio from the table coming through here. Let's take a listen.
Not using this yet. Like, how did I technically use this? But like, there's no point.
I think they're deciding to hold, which is
I want to do
reasonable.
the play that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So they're on 3 right now.
Does Kurikara change that at all? And the swim back.
I don't think it does.
I think
I
they
thought we
were
could just
talking about the number of
Princess Kurikara.
summons. So
Yeah, mentioning that they're
We
on
needed
3
to.
summons right now.
I'm pretty sure they have a Nibiru in hand.
Actually, maybe not, but that is fine. It's more that I just want to stop. I just want to stop the access to field spell because that's how they play around this.
Mm-hmm.
We may have telegraphed it, but I don't know if they picked up on it or not. Like that is quite telegraphing.
That's a very interesting point.
I'm not doing that.
What, trying to deny Team UK their
Specifically,
Team France their field spell?
Specifically denying the field spell because that's what makes them able to play through their Nibiru.
Oh, at Birch.
Both players on Birch, or both teams on Birch.
I think. Oh, okay. No, we've already used one Poplar. It's negated anyway, right? So. Yeah, I mean, there's no difference in this scenario regardless. We get to get a draw now. Let's see if Team France can pick anything up off of this.
We still got 5 cards left in hand. There's still definitely a chance for them.
Yeah, no, they're doing okay here, especially with this Ash tag out potentially. It would only run into another Ash Blossom specifically, which would feel really bad, which I think would have been used already on Sinful Spoil. Normal Summon's been committed to.
Normal Summon has been committed, and Team UK has been patient, has only used Imperm so far, still has the Masquerena that can jump out with the Flamberge. We still have the Princess in the graveyard, and apparently might have a Nibiru in hand.
Yeah, I think we should be able to relatively be aware of the fact that they do have Nibiru. They were thinking about... But the thing is, like...
They can't possibly have the response window for it yet. We haven't done 5 yet.
Yeah, that's why they were counting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they mentioned that they're on 3, so...
Well, now this is going to be 5, I'm pretty sure. I think this Ash is summon number 5.
Yeah, so this right here is Flamberge, and I guess they're just going to want them to use the Flamberge effect.
Yeah,
and
you don't
then
want a
it's safe.
Nibiru before the Flamberge has revived. That does mean... Oh, we're going Oak first. Oh, that's a very good spot to use Nibiru.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anywhere else from this point on that you can trigger the Flamberge unless you're like discarding it off of a Nightmare.
You can do it in a really cool way too. Like you can go Chainlink 1 Flamberge Dragon to summon out the IP Masquerena, Chainlink 2 Nibiru. That way Nibiru tributes the field and then the Masquerena still is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what I would like to see them do. Still 5 cards in hand after. But...
Do you think Nibiru is good here? Do you want to maybe like wait for them to resolve Flamberge? But I guess at that point it might be risky because they get Princess in circulation. Oh wow, okay. I mean, if you got it, like this seems good.
I mean, you have to now because of Appaloosa.
Surely. That priority is on the UK side right now, and they are thinking. Many different options and triggers here. You know, it doesn't necessitate that they have a hand trap. It could just be this Flamberge summon.
You don't have to because of Appaloosa, because if it's just Appaloosa here, that alone doesn't threaten that much. But they are doing... I'm pretty sure they are aware of the play that I just mentioned. And they got the Birch for free on top of it. They just got a... the Birch was just donated to this Nibiru. Yeah, there it goes.
Why did we Birch here? I guess it was definitely just to force Nibiru. It had to be. Right? Like telegraphing
I guess some light at the end of the tunnel for Team France is that this is the first monster effect being used. And so something like Talents is now on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a risk of Thrust or Talents. We haven't seen Thrust at all.
Nope.
But Talents is pretty popular, pretty common.
Yep.
I'm curious if there's any neat things you can do with Thrust in the matchup.
Thrust is good, especially in spots like this. However, like in a Master Duels environment where you play best of ones most of the time, it's like rough to commit to a card that won't be that useful when you go first. Because Talents, when you go first, at least is like massive against any sort of like Ash Blossom Maxi situation. That's a massive,
very big Nibiru
massive token, yeah.
And after all, we still get Apollousa. Sorry, not Apollousa. We get the Flamberge Revive. The Masquerade on the field, and ordering the chains correctly means that we get to tribute everything and still end on this.
Oh
That's
no,
rough.
that is massive. That is the best card to have in this situation. This does so many things. Number one, obviously stops the Revive 2, so no follow-up from the Flamberge Dragon. Number 2, no more fire monsters for Princess on the field right now. Number 3, not even enough link material to go into anything super meaningful with the IP Masquerade. I mean, we can go into Unicorn still, but that's it.
Yeah.
We got Nightmare Unicorn as an option with the IP Masquerade, which we would have to discard one of the 2 cards in our hand for. The only question is, does Team Fraz have a way to extend through? No. They
Oh, that's such a
Okay.
shame. Talents, I think, would have just absolutely won that, right? You just go like Talents take, make a dark potentially.
Talents take would have been the one. That would have been the way they could do it. Yeah.
But this is actually really rough. They don't
One
have
for
any
one was the
follow-up.
other one. Like it was 1-for-1 or Talents
Yeah, I was gonna say like
or Monster Born. Monster Born is kind of popular at the moment.
Yeah, we actually haven't seen that.
No, we haven't seen it. I like it a lot though. I think
yeah,
it's
for
very
sure.
good.
I remember Pac talking about how much he loves that card
Yeah.
in Snake Eye. Just being able to just revive like a card that your opponent has
Yeah.
in their graveyard for yourself, triggering one of your Snake Eyes in the process. Great in the mirror match.
It also helps play through your opponent's disruptions. Like you normal summon a Snake Eye Ash, they use an Effect Veiler on it. You can't tag out with it anymore. However, if you make a Link Rebo and then just use Reborn on it, you can tag out.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now it's just a rough spot here because like I don't know what else they can have in their hand that they wouldn't have already used on their own turn.
They have picked up new cards since Team UK's last turn, right? They've drawn a card for turn. They've drawn a card with Wanted. So there's 2 completely unknown cards. You know, they could easily be their own version of Nibiru. I don't think a Maxi is likely because they could have used it for great value on their own turn.
Yeah.
Like that was easily going to be 2 or 3 draws minimum. So that is unfortunately unlikely to be there, I want to say. The question is, does Team UK play Relinquished Anima?
That's most likely the reason we put that in that zone, right?
I mean, it's even if you don't play Anima, I would argue it's still ideal to put it there because then your opponent has to guess whether you play it or not.
Well, on the plus side, this field spell is going to make it a lot easier to deal game here, especially since we're only on 6,000 now because of the Wear Arfthal damage.
Oh, right, we take 2,000 from that.
Just got to remember as well, as long as they don't trip up over accidentally trying to resolve Flamberge, because it is negated from the call by last turn. But we are going to go Kita.
I also want to point out how Team France has used the War Arfthau to grab a Kurikara that just didn't happen.
Yeah, didn't we discard it, right? What
No,
did we
France added it. It's in France's
added it.
hands.
Right,
still.
yeah. I mean, that's why I was like a little confused. It didn't feel like it was going to do anything.
I mean, they didn't know the Nibiru was there for sure, right? The Nibiru was the reason why nothing on the field is there anymore. That has used its effect. Maybe they didn't expect that, quote unquote, to happen. Just fair enough.
Okay, so Germany are definitely supporting Team France here because I'm getting confirmation from the nightmare situation, which was France winning would be a perfect three-way tie break.
Yep.
So it would, I think, be an extra game they would play, and it would be Spain, Netherlands battling France, and then the winner would battle Germany.
Okay.
I think I might be misunderstanding, but that's
You know what? You know what? Don't worry about it. We don't have to chat about it because it is looking like
The UK is in the
UK
prime
is going to
position
save us
here.
from this chaos.
Yeah, that's most likely to be
Which
the case.
just for the sake of simplicity,
We're happy about.
yeah.
Okay. So we've got a Nibiru token.
How many summons have we done? Is the next one going to be the 5th? I have a feeling it would be. We've normal summoned, we've made Hita, we've used Hita.
This is 4.
No, we're on 5. We're on 5.
We're on 5 already?
It was
Okay.
normal summon, make Hita, Hita effect, tag out into Oak, Oak revive is 5.
Alright.
However, I would be surprised if there actually was a Nibiru, because they could have used Appaloosa here, so... And this access code indeed threatens to take the game home for Team UK if there is no way to deal with it. We don't see like an effect veiler on resolution of this access code talker. We don't see a Nibiru just yet. Is Team UK going to go undefeated into the finals with a 4-0 record? And I would not have thought they are.
Battle phase.
They are, yeah. It looks like
battle phase. It looks like France is not going to win this one, and here we are. The UK is attacking directly for a game. 6,000 has already been dealt with. 2,000 already with the Wear Arfthal, but
And
regardless, this is enough.
Is going to be enough. And this means that round number 9 was actually a direct comparison match for finals.
Yep.
The Germany versus Netherlands-Spain match, the winner of that is now moving on to the finals, and that was Germany.
Yeah, exactly. It is now Germany versus the UK in the final.
Yep.
They have the head-to-head advantage against Spain.
Exactly.
And
because it's only 2. It's funny because it's out of the 5 teams, 1 has gone undefeated, which was the UK. 2 have gone 2-2, and 2 have gone 1-3. And the 2 that have gone 2-2, it was Germany and Spain, Netherlands.
that was the decider.
That was the decider, and Germany has defeated them in the head-to-head comparison, which means that they are going to be moving on into the finals, and we are avoiding the chaotic 3-way tie situation because
If you're curious, the situation was if France won that game, we were going to have an extra game played between France and Spain Netherlands to decide their spot, who would then have to duel against Germany, and then that is met in the final. So 2 duels have just been saved, essentially. We would have had 2 more duels. So this makes it nice and simple. Anyway, yeah, so we have a German UK final.
Yep.
Exo Sisters, supposedly, versus Snake Eye.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just run it with the Exo Sisters again, because so far, 2 games with Snake Eye, 2 losses. 2 games with Exo Sister, 2 wins.
The math just checks out, in my opinion.
Pulled back the entire performance, started the Invitational with 2 losses.
0-2 and still coming through to the final. Incredible. All right, yeah, let's hear it from the players themselves before we get this final underway. Take it away, Ed.
I mean, you're right, guys. We have avoided the chaos of 2 extra duels, but that was an exceptional display that we saw there with all the Nibiru and then access code to get rid of the token and then attack for game. Talk to us about what you've just displayed for the world.
So I think we discussed the game plan like kind of mid-round, like where we were playing, and the plan was we let them play, hold our resources, and then just go all in on that Nibiru.
You already started with full combo, so I mean you guys were already in a great position to start with and just dominated. You had the nerve, nay the cheek, to say you'd be undefeated in this, and here you are. So must be feeling pretty good.
You just manifest it, and there you go.
Yeah, manifest destiny. That's all you need, Revs. And now we're going to see you guys in the final.